Good morning, YouTube. Yes, I'm back with another YouTube video. Man, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. Now, in terms of trading, let's cut to the chase. So the evals, the three evals we are currently copy trading, we did have a green day. We did have a green day of 240. Two trades. I am trading minis. So for minis, for two minis, this is quite a little amount, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk about why. And just because of the trade I took today, so we're all gonna jump into that. So this account is sitting at 51,700. This second account is sitting at basically 51,000, and the second account is sitting at 52,000. So pretty much 900 away from being passed. So hopefully we get these passed by the end of the week. If I do pass them Thursday, I'm not gonna lie, I might take Friday off and then just wait for the next week, just because I don't want to deal with Friday price action. Who knows, right? Who knows? Friday actually might be the best day of the entire year in terms of price action. We never know, right? So let's jump into today. Now, first of all, on the higher time frame, as you can see here, we do have buy side model playing out. I did see Justin's YouTube video earlier today. He did take some shorts. He took a pre-market open short up here, and then he took another short up here, which both got stopped out, which is really unfortunate. I forgot what the exact setup was, but I just remember it was two shorts. Um, so just looking on the higher time frame, we do have buy side model here being played out. Now, if you're in my Discord, you know that once I wake up, I usually take the 5 minute. If the 5 minutes chop, I'm going back to bed. I do not want to deal with that, just because inverse fair value gaps are one of my staples for my trading. Now, when it comes to playing in chop with inverse rally gaps, they they suck. They're horrible. They're horrible, right? Is absolutely horrible, right? Because it's just chop, right? We're just going up and down. There's no actual target, right? So we're just actually just actively seeking liquidity, and the market's just pretty much lost, right? And after such an expansion move like this, as you can see here that we did earlier today, you can expect some chop, right? Especially on a no news Monday. But the same thing pretty much applies when we're just completely ripping. When we're just completely ripping out of nowhere, I tend to just let price do its thing. I'm not interested, just because, right, we have, it's the start of the month. I have the rest of the week to trade. I have the rest of the month to trade. I'm not going to be spending my energy on a no news Monday, right? Not only that, though, as you can see here, this is buy side here in the morning here, and then right, so this buy side's actually sitting right under this PD array on the hourly time frame. So just zooming into the 1 hour, or I mean zooming into the lower time frame, specifically the 1 minute, we're just completely just ripping up, right? We took buy side, and then we just completely just touch this we just go up and touch this what's it called, hourly fair value gap, and we're just hanging around there for the most part. So I actually did not come to my setup until later on, so around like 7:30 ish. And I was like, okay, let's just see, right? And also I had to wake up, right? I had to start, like, just waking up in general. So I was just like, okay, let's see what the market has. Honestly, I was not gonna trade, to be honest. Um, but again, because I just don't want to be wasting my energy. But I was like, if something comes to me like a light bulb trade that I like, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, right? If the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna take it. Now, so we come up here and we actually set a new buy side, which is right over here, an internal buy side, right? So this is buy side here, which is internally. If you look on the hourly, if you look on the higher time frame, the external buy side would pretty much be this high sitting up over here, right? So this engineered little high would be external buy side sitting up here that we actually do come later on, and pretty much close above it as well on the hourly time frame. So I'm looking at the charts and I'm just like, okay, first of all, oh wait, give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. So for times like these, um, realistically, I would want to see a retracement, right? I would want to see a retracement, maybe back to the halfway mark of this hourly fair value. I mean, of this 15-minute fair value gap, right? Just to confirm that price wants to still be bullish. Um, and just because this is more of a deeper retracement than it would be to this one, right? But as you can see here, price actually was respecting this 15-minute fair value gap right over here. And so this was pretty much the retracement that sponsored the move to the upside, right? And as you can see again, we do end up retesting this 15-minute fair value gap right over here, this other one, and then we continue higher, right? So these are the stepping stones, as you can see here, that makes this buy side model play out, right? We're just bouncing off of higher time frame PD arrays. So normally this would be a deeper retracement, and if you were to zoom in to the one time, like the 1 minute, and like you would wait for like a 1 minute internal sweep of liquidity or like an SMT, and then you wait for your model to continue higher, right? But again, I was just relaxing. I wasn't really gonna. I was like actively contemplating of like not taking a trade, just setting it off, right? But for the most part, this is the trade I actually took. So we do have buy side here, and we're currently just chopping. But ES was holding us back a little, right? The fact that ES was holding us back a little, and ES was holding us back, as you can see here. So this is chop, right? But this chop looks more stable and more to the upside compared to NQ, right? As you can see. Now, what does this potentially tell me? That we might want to continue higher. But again, earlier I said, if I see something I like, I'm going to take it. So we do have an SMT here, right? So we do have internal buy side sitting here, right? So on ES, this is buy side sitting up over here. Or if anything, we just like mark any of these highs. But anyways, there is just a higher time frame SMT with all of these highs pretty much here, as you can see. So this is an SMT here, and we do have a BPR, right? So we do have a BPR here. Not only that, we do also have fair value gaps here. You can just basically combine these. That's usually what I like to do. And as soon as we make this SMT, I see this momentum candle down, and I'm like, oh wait, this is light bulb. Like this is actually light bulb. Oh my god, I almost dropped my cup. This is actually light bulb, right? So I pretty much enter off of this candle closure here for a quick one trade, literally 1-on-1. Now I was gonna take this with 1 mini just because it's like no news Monday. As you can see here on the 5-minute, this is pretty much chop. Like this does not look good here. If you look on the 1 minute, this is not. I forgot what I was saying. I interrupted. So yeah, so this is pretty much light bulb, right? Again, this I was only. Oh yeah, I was explaining why. Sorry. I was gonna take this with 2 minis. No, sorry. I was gonna take it with a 1 mini. But as soon as I entered the trade, I saw I was in there with 2. I immediately closed 1 out. Now, if I let this play out with 2 minis, this would have been probably like a bigger amount, maybe like a $400 day. But I closed 1 out instantly. And then my second one pretty much got closed out as soon as we hit like this 1-to-1 ratio thing. And I just closed it out, right? So for a small $240 gain it was. Yeah, 240. So yeah, this was pretty much the trade I took here. Again, we also do have, so let me go ahead and delete all of this. Go ahead and delete this. You do have this bigger PD array sitting up right over here. We do tap into it, and then we do continue lower, right? And we do tap into this, right? Which is the 15-minute fair value gap I was talking about. And then you have to remember, time is fractal, right? So if there's a 15-minute fair value gap being respected, if you go on the 1 minute, there's most likely a 1 minute fair value gap going to be respected. So as you can see here, we do have a 1 minute fair value gap here that is holding us bullish as well, right? And then this is pretty much the move that sponsors us to the upside. Now I'm pretty sure there's definitely like SMTs everywhere here. Yeah, so you do have an SMT here. Yeah, so you do have an SMT here. Now, is there really a trade to cash his move to the upside? Let me see. I don't really think there is a trade here. On the 5-minute, no. Maybe like maybe if you were to stretch this for value gap over, right? And then you just really like this momentum for whatever reason, and then you take it at this candle closure, and then target this high sitting up here, and then maybe potentially even disconnected. What the? And then maybe potentially even targeting this buy side sitting up over here. But you pretty much would have gone and stopped out break even right over here, right? So this would have been a quick 20 points. You could have had some runners if timed it perfectly. This would have been 42 points. But yeah, I don't really think there's a trade here. No, yeah, there's no trade here. Well, at least I don't see one. Yeah, but yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. Now someone asked me in chat, or he private Discord messaged me. He's like, "How do you know we were gonna take this buy side?" You don't. You don't know. You don't know anything in the market, actually. You don't. Again, our job is to observe, not to predict. This buy side is just internal buy side. So this is pretty much an engineered high. And as you can see here, we do somewhat form some low resistance liquidity. Oh, I can never say this word right. Liquidity, right? So you do have some low resistance liquidity being built up here. But again, I pretty much just had this mark out because you never know, right? We could sweep buy side, turtle soup this, and then continue lower. And then if you go on the 5 minute, as you can see here, let me see. On the 5 minute, I'm making that low. Hey, yo. Right. Yeah. So you never know, right? We could have swept this buy side sitting up here. We could have two swooped this. There could have been an SMT here. So let's say it could have looked something like this, right? It honestly could have looked something like this. You do have let's say you put in an SMT. You have to remember, we are deep in premium, right? We turtle soup this. Let's pretend like there's a fair value gap here, and then right, so we come back down, price re-taps into the fair value gap, and then continues lower, maybe potentially wanting to fill in more of or maybe come down to this 15-minute fair value gap again, and then just a retracement, right, and then maybe potentially even continuing higher, right? So this is not predicting. This is just like a what if, right? This is just like, oh, this is an idea. Like this could potentially happen, or maybe we come back down, we chop a little bit, right? Because maybe this might be a crazy expansion move, like the one we had in the morning, and then we continue lower, right? And then just to take out all of this pretty much liquidity down sitting over here that we have not tapped into it yet, right? So our job is to observe. Like these are all potential ideas that could play out, but again, our job is to observe, and we just have to go with the flow with prices telling us what it wants to do, right? So let me go ahead and delete this. But as you can see here on the higher time frame, you can obviously see on the 15-minute especially what price wants to do. Let me go ahead and fix this. So this is a 15-minute fair value gap here, right? And then you have another 15-minute fair value gap here, right? So as you can see here, what price is telling us that it wants to do using this 15-minute fair value gaps is being bullish, right? So you go into the lower time frame to confirm that there is potentially a bullish move, wait for an SMT, wait for a change of structure, wait for all of that fun stuff. You enter, or you wait for your model, you enter to the upside, right? So that's basically aligning the higher time frame model with the lower time frame model. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if you're going to be asking me like, oh, we're bullish, but you took a short. Well, this short to me is very light bulb, right? Look at this. Just look at this, right? We put in SMT. We do have buy side sitting up over here. We literally just ran through these fair value gaps here. and I do have a low sitting down over here, right? Like this low could have been my break even, and then that's pretty much it. So to me, this was a pretty safe trade. So I literally just went to a 1-to-1 here, and as you can see, like as soon as I entered, it pretty much just hit it, and I was done for the day. And yeah, because who knows, right? Because again, we're not trying to predict, we're trying to observe, right? Because this potentially could have been the move to the downside, right? This trade that I took could have potentially been the retracement back into this 15-minute fair value gap right over here, and then this could have been like, oh, this is the retracement back into like equilibrium or something, and then we continue higher for this buy side, right? Again, the trade was just light bulb. It was pretty safe to me, obviously in my eyes. And then yeah, right. But obviously here you can see that we're holding pretty much 15-minute bullish structure. And actually, let me see where equilibrium is. So, oh yeah, see, as you can see, so that low, right, and then the high, as you can see, equilibrium is literally halfway mark of this 15-minute fair value gap, as you can see here, literally down the line. So who knows, right? So price could have retraced to equilibrium and then continued higher, right? Again, our job is not to predict, it's just to observe. Like these are all, like everything I just talked about were just like a bunch of what ifs, because we could potentially do that. Are we going to do that? No, because I'm not the one that makes the rules. We could have potentially done that. And then yeah. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching this video. I'm about to go hit the gym. Oh yeah, let's go. Peace. Love you guys. See you.